In this video, I'm going to show you 4 ways to get more clients for your private security agency and grow exponentially. And not only will I tell you the 4 ways, but I will also tell you the exact steps that you have to take to convert those clients and the pros and cons of each of these methods. So if you are a private security agency who wants to become big, do watch the video till the end. And here's a bonus tip for you. These are the only two ingredients that you need for successful client conversion. Number one, you must know the pain points of your potential client like nobody else does. So, this means that you must be so obsessed with your clients that the way you understand their pain point, nobody else does. And second is that your potential client must believe that you can solve their pain points like nobody else can. Remember, it is the potential client who must believe, not you claiming to be the best private security agency. So self-claim has no place here. Your client must have this perception of you. So remember these two things. So before I take you through the 4 ways to get more clients for your private security agency, let me first break down this matrix that you see on your screen right now. Here you see on the x-axis that you have inbound and outbound. Inbound means any lead or any inquiry which comes to you, and outbound means any lead or inquiry which you get by yourself by doing certain actions. On the y axis, you have warm and cold. Warm means that there is either a referral involved or the lead and you already share a connection prior to discussing business. Cold means that the lead and you have never interacted and they only know you through other channels but not directly. So we'll start with number one, which is inbound and warm. And that is a client or a friend giving you a lead. It is inbound because the lead is coming to you, and it is warm because there is a client or a friend who is giving to you this lead as a referral. So here, what are the sales funnel steps that you have to take? What are the pros and what are the cons? First, you have to respond immediately. As and when you get the lead, start acting on it. Second is that you have to leverage social proof. Basically, you have to mention shared connections and past success stories, because either a friend or a client has given you this referral. So while speaking to this referral, you have to mention how you are connected to the client or the friend who has given you this referral. Then you have to ask for a discovery call and then follow it up with a pitch and a proposal. Why a discovery call is important? Because remember, bonus tip number one, that you must understand the pain point of your clients like nobody else does. So, for that to happen, you must first speak to your potential client and understand what is the problem that they are facing and then propose a solution. So, what are the pros and cons of this method? We'll start with the pros. The pro is that there is high trust and credibility upfront because there is a client or a friend who has referred you. The other pro is that the sales cycle is faster because there is a referral involved. The person who has been referred, they will tend to act more quickly on this than a cold lead. And the third is that there is less price sensitivity. So for example, if there is a client who has given you this referral, you can assume that the person would have already spoken to the client about the prices that you are charging your client, right? So once they have agreed to that price in the ballpark, only then they have agreed to actually get this referral, right? So you can expect that the price sensitivity will be low. But what are the cons here? First one is that this is not scalable. And the reason is that this is dependent on others. Practically, you cannot control how many referrals a friend might give you or how many referrals a client might give you. You only control what you do after you have received that referral. So it is dependent on others, and that is the biggest con of this method. And the third is that quality of leads can vary. So the person giving you the referral might not qualify the leads for you. They might just, as a friend in goodwill, reach out to other people in their network who they think can use your security services. But then the potential end client, whether or not they will really want your security services, is a question that they will not really find answers to. So the quality of leads can greatly vary here. Moving to method number two. which is you receiving an inquiry on your website or other social media platforms. So this lies in the inbound and cold quadrant. And what are the steps that you have to take? This is step number one. You have to respond within 1 hour, and this is maximum because speed equals professionalism. So your system should be such that as and when a query comes to you through your website or any other platform, you should be able to respond within 60 minutes. Second is that you have to have a pre-built response system, and that will contain FAQs, intro deck, SOPs, etc. And these are the documents that you have to keep ready. So you have to preempt the consumer journey once they are on your website, right? Once they have reached out to you, what do you think are the questions that they are going to ask first? So you can already prepare a list of FAQs and have it ready to be shared. Third is that you have to ask for a discovery call again, followed by a proposal, and ensure that you share your USP here. And why is it important? I'll discuss it when we talk about the cons of this method. But again, you have to have that discovery call so that you understand the pain point of your potential client. But let's talk about the pros and cons of this method. Pros, they have found you. Basically, the potential client has found you, which means that they are really interested in you, right? So they are kind of warmed up. The other is that this allows for lead nurturing through content. So basically, if you are present on social media platforms, you can create a content driven sales funnel that will attract more and more leads over time. And the third pro is that this builds your brand passively. So let's say you are doing content through your website and other social media platforms. So even if there are no active leads coming in your way, the visibility that you are going to get through your content will help build your brand passively in the background. So these are the pros. Now let's talk about the cons. Con number one is that there is lower initial trust. And why is there low initial trust? Because clients may be shopping around. So you have to understand that if there is a potential client who's looking for a private security agency, they might be reaching out to multiple security agencies all at once. Because remember, there are 27,000 plus private security agencies licensed and operational in India at the moment. So which is why I have mentioned that you must ensure that you share your USP, because if your potential client is reaching out to multiple private security agencies and you are able to communicate what is your differentiator to your potential client extremely clearly, then that might help you convert this potential client into an actual client. And the third con is that this requires a strong online presence and follow up system. Because it is primarily a content driven or a platform driven sales funnel, your online presence has to be top notch. And then there has to be a certain degree of automation in how an inbound lead is responded to within the 60-minute interval that I've already mentioned. Now, moving on to method number three, which is you sending out emails or messages to potential clients. Now, please note that we have entered the outbound and cold quadrant. So, number three, you sending out emails and messages to potential clients. What are the steps to take? Step number one is to research the target client. Again, understanding the pain point of your target client is mission critical. And I cannot stress this enough, right? So before reaching out to a potential client, you must study them, research on them, and understand the exact problems that they are facing, and then craft a solution. So then you have to send a personalized message. Today, in the day of AI, where this AI is a buzzword really, people are doing mindless reach outs where they are following a set template. And it's very easy to spot AI generated templates, trust me. So you must actually take some effort and not let go of the human essence and human intelligent aspect of it. So you must reach out to your target client in a way that is personalized and customized. And then follow up strategically, 3 to 4 touch points max, adding value at each step. So now that you are reaching out to a potential client, they might not really be interested in your services at the moment. But how you approach them, how you present yourself, and how you follow up will keep them hooked, right? So you have to be extremely careful in how you are following up with this kind of a lead. So what are the pros and cons of this method? We'll start with the pros again. It is fully within your control. You determine the volume of outreach that you have to do. So the degree of control that you get is the maximum in all the methods that we have discussed so far. The other pro is that this helps you target your dream clients. While the prior two methods that we saw, they were more reliant on clients really approaching you or you getting a referral. This method is where you can actually go out proactively and target your dream clients. Today, they might have a different private security vendor, but tomorrow it could be you. And the third is that this builds visibility even if the leads are not getting converted immediately. So this means that if you are reaching out to multiple people all at once, and even though they are not really converting to your actual client base, they will still get to know about you. They will still get to know about your brand. And that will help you create that visibility for you. And trust me, this visibility might not benefit you directly today, but it has the potential to do wonders for your business down the line. So now let's talk about the cons. Number one is that there is low conversion rate. It is an industry standard. It is not something that is going to be unique for your company, but you can expect that the more people you reach out to, your conversion rate would be lesser as a percentage. But in absolute numbers, it could still be high enough for you to get meaningful business. The other con is that this can feel intrusive if done poorly, right? So if somebody does not really want security services right now, and you are reaching out to them again and again to sell your security services, then this will feel intrusive. And rather than developing a prospect for you, this will derail the conversation altogether. So the point here is that you have to be extremely careful when you're using this method. The frequency of your messages, the tonality of your messages, and the way you are presenting yourself, all that matters. And the third is that this requires consistency and patience. See, you will only learn over time as to what kind of messaging is required out there in the market. Depending on your dream clients, depending on your target clients, depending on the research that you have done, you will take some time to learn about what they want to share, right? So that is where consistency and patience come into picture. Now let's talk about method number 4, and that is you asking your clients for referrals based on your work. This is extremely important. So here we are in the outbound and warm quadrant. Outbound because you are actually reaching out to clients for referrals, and warm because the client whom you are reaching out to, they already know you. So this is why we are in the outbound and warm quadrant, right? So what are the steps that you have to take as part of the sales funnel? Step number 1 is that you have to ask for referrals at the right time, and that is ideally after delivering strong results, right? So let's say if you have onboarded a new client and that client relationship is, let's say, only 10 days or 15 days old, and you start asking for a referral, there is no referral that is going to come your way. You have to understand that you have to first create that customer delight and trust with your existing client, and only then will they unlock their network for you and give you the referrals that you are asking for. So the timing of this is extremely crucial. Second step is that you have to make it easy, and you have to give your clients a message or template to send. So for example, you have a client and you are asking them for a referral or an introduction to another potential client in your existing client's network. Then you can make it easy for your existing client by sending them a template of a message that this is what you can forward to your connects in your network. And then once the lead converts, you can take it forward from there, right? So again, this also adds to how thoughtful are you when you are doing this process, and that is what makes all the difference. Third step is that once you get a referral, then you have to follow steps for number 1, that once you got a referral, you reach out to the referral immediately, and then you ask for a discovery call, and then follow it up with a proposal and pitch, right? So this is the loop that you have to run for yourself. And step number 4 is that to your existing client, you must offer a small thank you or incentive. Now, this can be a monetary incentive or even a non-monetary one. you can actually create a full-fledged referral program for your existing clients if you think that this strategy is really going to work for you. So it all depends on how much effort are you willing to put into getting more clients. So let's talk about the pros and cons of this method. Pros. There is a warm intro with real credibility because now you have a client referral, right? So the pros are similar to what we saw for method one, that there is real credibility and trust upfront. Second is that you will get higher quality leads. So understand this. If you have, let's say, 10 clients, not all of them will be the same. You should have the skill set to be able to distinguish between high quality clients or good quality clients versus bad quality clients. Once you have identified those good quality clients, their referral network is what you have to unlock. So let's say I am an MBA, then you can expect more MBAs in my network. Similarly, if you have a good quality client, you can expect more good quality clients in their network. So once you have figured this out, you ask for good quality referrals, and that is what gets you these higher quality leads. I hope you are following this. And the third pro is that this strengthens client relationship, right? So it is not that you are asking for a referral before even delivering results, right? It's the other way around. You have created a customer delight for your existing customer or existing client, and only then have you asked for a referral. So this conversation and your willingness to expand your business by doing meaningful work, all this feeds into strengthening your client relationship even with your existing client. But there are some cons, and let's discuss them. Number one is that many private security agencies feel awkward in asking for referrals. But you must understand why is that the case. Most of the times, the private security agency knows that they are not doing a great job with their existing client, so asking for a referral will further frustrate the client. So first, you have to deliver something for your client which nobody else can, right? Again, I'm stressing on that client delight experience that you have to create. Only then will you feel comfortable in asking for referrals. The other thing is that private security agencies have never really developed a referral mechanism. They have never really thought about a referral program. But now is the time to start that process. Now is the time to take that step. So you must do the right things so that you don't feel awkward in asking for referrals. And why are referrals so important? Because at least in India, 90% of the new business that you get will be through referrals. Regardless of how good you are with your website or your social media strategy, if you don't have a referral, it is going to be tough for you to get new business. But if you have a strong referral, that too for a good quality potential client, you are actually staring at exponential growth. So think about it. The other con is that this relies on client goodwill. Again, while it is a con of this method that it relies on your goodwill that you have created with the client, it is still in your control. So the silver lining is that you can provide certain inputs that will move this equation in your favor. So see what you can do so that your existing clients will be more than happy to give you referrals in their network. And the third con is that this needs timing and tact to avoid appearing pushy. As I gave you the example, if a client relationship is only a few days old and you start asking for a referral, then it will spoil the client relationship altogether. So you have to time it properly and ask for a referral in a way that does not come across as pushy. So what are 360 PSA's recommendation here? We recommend that you focus on number 3 and 4. So if you are an existing private security agency and you already have a client base, then you must focus on number 4, which is asking your clients for referrals based on your work. Now, how you will do it is something that we have discussed in our previous videos. So do go through our YouTube channel and watch those videos. And if you are a new private security agency who is in the process of now trying to find clients, then number 3 is what you must go for, which is you must be sending out emails and messages to potential clients after thorough research. See, you have to understand that 1 and 2 is where you are essentially waiting for clients to find you. That to me is a reactive approach, and that is not going to help you beat your competitors. Remember, there are 27,000 plus. competitors out there. Whereas 3 and 4 is much more proactive, much more in your control. So if you are willing to put in that hard work and smart work, then 3 and 4 is what you should be focusing on. We are 360 PSA and we are here to make your private security agency simply the best. We are business consultants for only a selected few private security agencies and we help them increase their profits. If you are a private security agency who has the hunger to become an industry leader, then reach out to us using the credentials on your screen.